Chapter 81 Martial Soul Fusion Skill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhu Zhuqing hesitated, then placed her hand in Ye Feng's palm. Their soul power and martial souls began to merge. Dai Mubai watched, a strange feeling creeping over him. Whoa, look at that connection. Ma Hongjun exclaimed, connection. The word stung Dai Mubai. Everyone at Shrek Academy, except maybe Yu Xiaojiang, knew Zhu Zhuqing felt a special connection with Ye Feng, like they could pull off a martial soul fusion skill. Oscar, watching Ye Feng perform the skill with Zhu Zhuqing, just felt gratitude, not jealousy. Even as a bystander, he was pumped, exclaiming, Zhuqing and Boss Yi finally clicked. Oscar's words hit Dai Mubai wrong. Hearing them, he felt a strange pang. His head felt like it was sprouting green again. Dai Mubai glared at Oscar, who clammed up, focusing on the fight. A bright light erupted on the stage, then quickly shrank, revealing the vague outline of a curvy figure. Martial soul fusion technique, ancient Xuanwu. The two, a snake and a tortoise, fused into a massive, 10-foot-tall black tortoise. Its tail was bizarre, not a normal turtle's tail, but the front half of a snake. Check it out. The snake and turtle crew busted out their martial soul fusion skill, ancient Xuanwu. But their opponents are doing the same thing. Waddle the nether cat and nine-hearted begonia unleash. Whoa, gorgeous. The host trailed off, awestruck. Zhu Zhuqing and Ye Feng vanished. In their place stood a 5'6" woman with a killer figure, big chest, wide hips. Long blue hair cascaded down her shoulders, almost to her butt. She wasn't wearing clothes, but a petal dress made of crystallized purple-black stuff. Her upper body was covered in a low-cut, tight top, and her lower body was a long floral dress. Under her feet was a nine-hearted begonia, also purple-black. She looked like a goddess who just dropped down to earth. Her face even had whiskers, like Naruto from, well, Naruto. It gave her a wild, raw beauty. Martial soul fusion technique, Xiantang Cat Saint, that was Zhu Zhuqing and Ye Feng's martial soul fusion skill, debris flow. A blinding light blasted from the ancient Xuanwu. In a swirl of yellow and blue light, a 10-foot-tall mudslide hurtled toward Xiantang Cat Saint. A piercing shriek cut through the air. Zhu Zhuqing, standing on the nine-hearted begonia, clasped her hands together, and her soul power surged. Night falls, petals rained down, blanketing the area around the ancient Xuanwu in purple-black mist. Then, Xiantang Cat Saint dove in. The sounds of impact echoed from within the mist. When the mist cleared, Ye Feng and Zhu Zhuqing stood on the stage, while the snake and turtle duo lay motionless. 10. 9. 8. 3. 2. 1. Congratulations to the nine-hearted cats on their victory. That's 5 wins and 0 losses, earning them 1 point. Ye Feng smiled at Zhu Zhuqing. Let's go cash in. Okay. Zhu Zhuqing nodded, following Ye Feng off the stage. Boss Yi, she murmured, I feel like we could pull off another martial soul fusion skill. Want to try again? Ye Feng chuckled. Yeah, Zhu Zhuqing confirmed. Next time. There'll be another chance. Ye Feng patted her shoulder. Ye Feng felt it too, that he could pull off another martial soul fusion skill with Zhu Zhuqing, not with the nine-hearted begonia martial soul, but with the Shenyuan sword martial soul. After they left to register their points, Director Ao from the Great Soul Arena approached them, hoping they'd compete in the team competition tonight in the main arena. Ye Feng learned from Xiao Wu that the Shrek team had demolished the Berserk team. Director Ao wanted them because some nobles from Suatua City had brought in a silver fighting spirit team stacked with soul masters from the imperial capital. The Great Soul Arena didn't have anyone on that level. The nobles had been betting big money, and the arena was getting cleaned out. The hope was that the Shrek team could take on and defeat the Huangdo team. Yu Xiaojiang agreed. Since Ye Feng was a level 50+ Soul King, it wouldn't be fair for him to fight with the Shrek 7 monsters. The Shrek team won, just like before, but the fight went down differently. Because of Ye Feng's interference, Oscar and Zhu Zhuqing had gotten fairy grass, making them stronger than they were in the original timeline. The Shrek team beat the Huangdo team before Zhu Zhuqing and Dai Mubai could even try their martial soul fusion skill. "You're strong, but I didn't lose everything to you," Yu Tianheng said, staring at Dai Mubai on the ring. Ning Rongrong scoffed, still not convinced. "This is a fighting arena. If it weren't for my senior brother and Xiao Wu, you wouldn't even be able to fight back. You would have lost even worse." "Your senior brother and Xiao Wu?" Yu Tianheng asked, annoyed by her taunts. "If they're so great, why aren't they fighting tonight?" Ning Rongrong smiled proudly. "Because their soul power broke through level 40. "What? Level 40? Are you sure you're talking about a student?" The Huangdo team members were shocked, wondering how someone so young could be that powerful. They thought of themselves as geniuses, but they just weren't prepared for someone to be that talented at such a young age. Ma Hongjun, who was helped by Ye Feng, said, "You don't have to doubt it, Boss Yi and Xiao Wu are about the same age as me. Funny enough, you have a nine-hearted begonia spirit, and Boss Ye's martial soul is a nine-hearted Xiantang. Also, you're both named Yi." Nine-hearted Xiantang, that Yi Lingling of the royal fighting team walked up to Ma Hongjun, looking serious. "Did you say the person with the nine-hearted Xiantang martial soul is also named Yi?" Chapter 82. A little sister Yi falls from the sky. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yeah. Where is he? Take me to him. Now. You want to see Boss Yi? Yep. Seriously, you're way out of your league. Boss Ye's the strongest of us all. He'd mop the floor with you in seconds. You've got the wrong idea. I'm not here to challenge him. He might be related to me. It's kind of important. Yi Lingling from the Huangdo team glanced at Ma Hongjun, a worried expression crossing her face. As a descendant of the Earth Sanzong, she knew that the nine-heart mysterious velvet was a mutation of the nine-heart begonia. When it mutated like that, its abilities shifted away from pure healing and became something else entirely. To even have a nine-heart mysterious velvet, you needed nine-heart begonia blood. Yi Lingling figured that this Boss Yi Ma Hongjun kept talking about had to be connected to it somehow. He could very well be her long-lost cousin. Alright, come on. Ma Hongjun led Yi Lingling outside to where Ye Feng and Xiao Wu were standing. He pointed at Ye Feng. This is our boss Yi. Yi Lingling looked Ye Feng up and down, her gaze eventually landing on the jade bracelet on his left wrist. Her voice caught in her throat. She stared at him in disbelief. You're really, my cousin. Cousin. Cousin, Ye Feng and Xiao Wu both looked stunned, their mouths agape. Xiao Wu recovered first, shooting a look at Yi Lingling. Fatty, who is this woman? Why is she calling my brother cousin? She's from the Emperor fighting team. Her name is. Ma Hongjun trailed off, having completely forgotten Yi Lingling's name. Why don't you tell them? Yi Lingling stepped forward and gave Ye Feng another once-over. He wasn't quite as handsome as Oscar, but he was definitely good-looking. A blush crept up her cheeks as she introduced herself. Hi, I'm Yi Lingling. I'm from the Nine-Heart Begonia family. That phoenix jade bracelet you're wearing, it was my aunt's. Excuse me, what's your connection to the original owner of that bracelet? Your aunt. You're saying my mom was your aunt? Yi Feng asked, surprised. So, you really are my cousin. Yi Lingling raised her own left wrist as she spoke, showing off her own jade bracelet. Another one? Another bracelet, Ma Hongjun and Xiao Wu exclaimed in unison. The jade bracelet on Yi Lingling's wrist was identical to the one on Ye Feng's, Yi Lingling explained, her tone serious. The Phoenix bracelet is an incredible storage soul tool. The storage space inside is huge, which makes it super valuable. There's only one pair of these in the entire continent. Our Nine-Heart Begonia family has always held them. When my aunt was born, my grandfather gave one to her. And when I was born, my father gave me the other one. They're a matched set, and the gold patterns on them aren't made of ordinary gold. It's meteorite from outer space. If you put them close enough, they'll stick together, and it takes a little effort to pull them apart. When Ye Lingling finished, she extended her wrist toward Ye Feng, her eyes locked on the jade bracelet on his wrist. Ye Feng understood and lightly touched his bracelet to hers. As soon as the two identical bracelets made contact, a strange pull occurred, drawing them tightly together. It really would take some force to separate them. The bracelet's real. You really are my cousin. Ye Lingling's voice was filled with excitement, and she stole glances at Ye Feng, her eyes lingering on him. Cousin. Ye Lingling was so excited that she almost threw her arms around Ye Feng, but he stepped back just before she could. Cousin. Ye Lingling frowned, noticing the coldness in Ye Feng's eyes. How did my parents die? Ye Feng asked, his voice serious. You're saying your aunt and uncle are dead? Ye Lingling asked, looking shocked. Ye Feng watched her reaction closely. From her expression, he could tell she wasn't faking it. She probably really didn't know how his parents had died. Still, he pressed on. You don't know. Even though Ye Feng's soul came from another world, he'd arrived in this body as a baby. He'd said goodbye to his past life a long time ago. He'd always thought he was an orphan. He never expected to be connected to the Nine-Heart Begonia sect, one of the 3 Earth sects. He knew there was a weird thing about the Nine-Heart Begonia sect. Only 2 people in the sect could awaken the Nine-Heart Begonia martial soul at the same time, and only when one of them died would another disciple with the same martial soul be born. In the sect's history, there had been instances where someone had murdered a fellow disciple for their martial soul. Now, Ye Lingling was telling him his mother was from the Nine-Heart Begonia sect. He had reason to suspect someone had orchestrated everything, killing his mother to allow the Nine-Heart Begonia sect to birth a new soul master with the same martial soul. Of course, he hoped he was wrong. From Ye Lingling's story, he learned his mother's name was Ye Waner, and his father's name was Ye Outyan. Interestingly, although his father shared the same last name, he wasn't a member of the Nine-Heart Begonia sect. Ye Outyan claimed to be an orphan with no home. Ye Lingling had learned from her father, Tang Douluo, that Ye Outyan had taken Ye Waner out for a trip more than 10 years ago. They never came back. Tang Douluo had used all his connections, searching high and low, but he hadn't found any clues. All he knew was that when Ye Feng's parents left, they met a friend who'd come to their door. After that, they vanished. So, the last time my parents were seen, they were taken away by someone? Ye Feng asked, staring at Ye Lingling. This was all he had to go on regarding the mysterious deaths of his parents. That's what my father found. The man was wearing a black cloak. The hotel owner couldn't see his face. My father believes it was someone they knew. But my aunt's martial soul was the Nine-Heart Begonia, a healing soul master, and she'd reached the Contra level. You know that soul masters get injured all the time and need healing, so generally, nobody messes with the Nine-Heart Begonia family. Not even the Spirit Hall. Ye Lingling shared everything she knew. P.S. Check out this book called Douluo, the strongest village chief in Myriad Realms. It's got Xinghun village as its base and starts a whole new adventure. Worth checking out. End of this chapter. Chapter 83. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ah. Ye Feng nodded. As a soul master, he knew the value of healers. Ye Lingling was right, everyone gets hurt, soul masters included. Healing soul masters, especially the best ones, were people you didn't want to cross. In fact, owing a favor to a healer was seen as a good thing. That's why they had so much influence. But here's the catch, whoever killed Ye Feng's mother had to be powerful, or connected. Someone who wasn't afraid of the Nine Hearts Begonia sect's revenge. That was Ye Feng's current theory about his parents' deaths. Cousin, when are you coming back to the Nine Hearts Begonia sect with me? Dad would be so happy to know you're alive, Ye Lingling asked. Ye Feng looked at her. Until he knew the truth, he had to suspect everyone. It'll be a while. I'll come when I have some free time. Okay. Yi Lingling respected his choice. She paused, glanced at the jade bracelet on her wrist, and blushed, deciding not to mention the matching bracelets and their implications. I lost my match tonight. I'm heading back to Tiando Royal Academy tomorrow. If you want to find me, that's where I'll be. Sounds good. Just then, a girl with dark green hair and green eyes approached Ye Feng. Ning Rongrong called you senior brother. Are you Ye Feng? She asked tentatively. Ye Feng smiled and nodded. I saw your match. Your martial spirit is the Jade Phosphorus Snake Emperor. You must be the old poison's granddaughter, right? Yep. Ye Feng, it really is you. We finally meet, Dugu Yen said, smiling. Yeah, Ye Feng replied. Brother, you two know each other? Ning Rongrong asked, curious. Yep. Ye Feng nodded. Ye Feng's body had been tempered by the ice and fire yin-yang well. When he and Xiao Wu were training there, he'd made sure to leave half of the star anise black ice herb and fiery apricot jiao for Dugu Bo. Before they left, he'd told Dugu Bo that the training method would work for him and his family too. During the match, Dugu Yen hadn't been affected by Ma Hongjuan's flames. Meaning, she'd already been tempered by ice and fire, making her resistant to both. The young man stepped between Dugu Yen and Ye Feng, introducing himself with a smile. I'm Yu Tianheng, from the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, grandson of the current clan leader. Yen, aren't you going to introduce me to your friend? Listening to his introduction, Ye Feng frowned. The guy was practically throwing his weight around, hoping Ye Feng would back down. Dugu Yen, oblivious to the tension, smiled and said, This is Ye Feng, Sword Douluo's direct disciple. He knows my grandfather. He's the one who helped me become immune to ice and fire. Oh, Sword Douluo's disciple. My apologies, Yu Tianheng said, looking surprised, and studying Ye Feng with newfound interest. Ye Feng didn't like Yu Tianheng's vibe. He said goodbye to Dugu Yen and Ye Lingling, and left the Great Soul Arena with the Shrek 7 devils. Once they were outside, Xiao Wu declared she was starving and dragged Ye Feng off for barbecue. He told the others to head back after their barbecue. It was late. The streets were practically deserted. Wow, that was amazing. I can't believe humans can make food this good. Now I'm wondering if what I ate before was just pig slop. Xiao Wu patted her full stomach, beaming with satisfaction. Xiao Wu, aren't you worried about getting fat? Ye Feng teased. What, you think I'm getting fat? Xiao Wu put her hands on her hips, sensitive to the comment. Especially coming from Ye Feng, who she cared about. Even if I get as big as a pig, I'm still your family. Suddenly, they heard a loud crash ahead. Then, a voice. Ye Feng and Xiao Wu exchanged a look. They could both feel the surge of soul power. This was Soto City. Why would soul masters be fighting at night? They leaped onto a nearby rooftop, looking down to see a man and a woman engaged in combat. The man wore a barbed leather jacket and a hat. He had 5 soul rings, white, yellow, purple, purple. His martial soul was strange, like a condom. The woman was shapely, with 3 soul rings, yellow, purple, purple. She also had a cat's tail. The ghost civet, could it be Zhu Zhuqing? Xiao Wu exclaimed. Ye Feng frowned. He didn't understand why Zhu Zhuqing was still in Soto City, or why she was alone. And fighting a creep like Buell. Buell was a soul king, and his soul rings were older than Zhu Zhuqing's. He'd already used his martial soul, and as a control type, he'd managed to trap Zhu Zhuqing in a sticky mass. Wow, what a pretty little thing, Buell said, leering at Zhu Zhuqing. Let me go, Zhu Zhuqing demanded. She struggled, but felt like she was tied with rope, unable to move. Don't worry, I'll take good care of you, he said with a nasty grin. What are you going to do? What do you think? I'm warning you, don't mess around. Don't worry, I won't be too rough. I'll just make you feel so good you'll be begging for more. You, shameless. Yo, you're blushing. Still a virgin, huh? Well, look at me striking gold today. Buell laughed obscenely, rubbing his hands together, and moved closer to Zhu Zhuqing. He grabbed her clothes and ripped them open. The sound of tearing cloth was deafening in the silent night. End of this chapter. Chapter 84. Let go of that girl. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Let him go. Xiao Wu, unable to watch any longer, shouted and leaped gracefully from the rooftop. Well, look what we have here, another pretty girl. Tonight's my lucky night. Douluo drawled, licking his lips and staring at Xiao Wu with lustful eyes. You're asking for it. Ye Feng landed, 5 soul rings blazing beneath his feet, 2 yellow, 1 purple, and 2 black. His second soul skill, frozen. As Ye Feng's second soul ring lit up, the skill took effect instantly, encasing Douluo in ice. The moment Douluo shattered the ice, Ye Feng shot forward like an arrow, arriving in front of him. He swung a fist, landing a solid punch on Douluo's jaw. With his current strength of 16 bulls, Ye Feng sent Douluo flying back 30 feet with that one blow. As Douluo tried to get up, Ye Feng was already there, stomping him back down to the ground. You dare insult Zhuqing? You're dead. Ye Feng's eyes narrowed, and with a flick of his wrist, his first wuhuan, the Xianyuan sword, materialized in his hand. He slashed, sealing Douluo's throat. Blood gushed from the wound as Douluo convulsed in agony before finally lying still. And just like that, a flower-picking thief who terrorized Soto City became history. With Douluo gone, Ye Feng rushed to Zhu Zhuqing's side. The strange soul skills binding her vanished with his death. Ye Feng froze. In the fading light, he saw a large tear in Zhu Zhuqing's shirt, revealing her chest. Zhu Zhuqing, noticing his gaze, looked down and realized her predicament. She screamed, frantically trying to cover herself with the torn fabric. Her face flushed crimson, like a ripe peach, making one want to take a bite. We should head back, Ye Feng said, turning away and starting towards Shrek Academy. Xiao Wu followed, pulling a cloak from her stored soul tool and wrapping it around Zhu Zhuqing. During their conversation, Ye Feng finally learned why Zhu Zhuqing was alone in Soto City. When he and Xiao Wu had gone for barbecue, Oscar had decided to buy Meng Yiran a gift and went to the department store on his own. Ma Hongjun went to start a fire. Ning Rongrong, Yu Xiaojiang, and Tang San had returned to the academy to rest. Dai Mubai had dragged Zhu Zhuqing to talk. Dai Mubai wanted to clear up the misunderstanding between them, but they ended up arguing. Frustrated, Dai Mubai left. Zhu Zhuqing, in a foul mood, went for a walk by the river in Soto City. As she was about to leave and head back to Shrek Academy, she witnessed Douluo robbing a civilian girl. She intervened and rescued the girl, but she was no match for Douluo, leading to the situation Ye Feng had found. Ye Feng understood. He now knew how Zhu Zhuqing and Douluo had crossed paths. He also sensed that his actions were causing the timeline to deviate from the original story. In the original plot, it was Ma Hongjun who had tried to pick up girls and save one from Buell, only to be beaten. Tang San, Xiao Wu, and the others had then stood up for Ma Hongjun and avenged him. Now, due to Ye Feng's interference, Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing's relationship was deteriorating, leading to this incident. When Ye Feng, Xiao Wu, and Zhu Zhuqing arrived back at Shrek Academy, they found Dai Mubai waiting at the gate, looking like he had been waiting for Zhu Zhuqing's return. Zhuqing, why are you with Ye Feng again? Dai Mubai snapped angrily. What's it to you? Zhu Zhuqing retorted. If it weren't for Ye Feng tonight, she would have lost her virginity. Yet, Dai Mubai had abandoned her, and now he was acting like this. Dai Mubai had come to apologize and reconcile with Zhu Zhuqing, but seeing her with Ye Feng had triggered him. Isn't it obvious? Dai Mubai said sarcastically. Dai Mubai, spit it out. Zhu Zhuqing was unusually firm, unwilling to back down this time. Zhu Zhuqing, if you keep this up, we're through. Fine, break up if you want. I won't miss you. Okay, then we're done. From now on, there's nothing between us. How do you explain that to His Majesty Xingluo? How else? What needs explaining? We both know why we're together. to make certain people stronger. Why does a pawn need an explanation? Okay, if you insist on breaking up, then let's break up. Zhu Zhuqing had hoped to use His Majesty Xing Luo's name to scare Dai Mubai, but she didn't expect him to say that. Zhu Zhuqing was tired of Dai Mubai's self-destructive behavior and his dalliances with the twins. And now, he was treating her like this. Fine. Dai Mubai replied, looking at Ye Feng, then at Zhu Zhuqing, before turning and stomping into Shrek Academy. Coward. Zhu Zhuqing stared at Dai Mubai's back, trying to get a reaction out of him. Dai Mubai, you're a coward. Dai Mubai ignored her and kept walking. When he disappeared from view, Zhu Zhuqing collapsed to the ground, hugging her knees and sobbing softly. Xiao Wu watched her with pity, squatting beside her and stroking her back. She didn't know what to say, so she glanced at Ye Feng, silently urging him to comfort Zhu Zhuqing. Ding dong, ***, congratulations. You have overturned the original storyline and, through your actions, caused Zhu Zhuqing and Dai Mubai to break up. Reward, 46 attribute points. Ye Feng was stunned. Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing had broken up, and he was rewarded for it. He had resigned himself to becoming Xiao Wu's adopted brother, ruining any chance of her and Tang San being together. He had even kindly persuaded Oscar to give up on Ning Rongrong. But he hadn't intended for Zhu Zhuqing and Dai Mubai to break up. Yet, he was rewarded for it. It felt weird receiving such a reward. Chapter 85. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 20 miles outside Tiando City, the land rises into rolling mountains. On one of the peaks, about 800 meters high, sits a cluster of brand new buildings constructed entirely of hard granite. Dong, 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 workers are busily laying the foundation on the mountaintop. At the foot of the mountain stand 18 towering stone pillars, each 36 meters tall. Massive stones connect the pillars, with the widest stone at the very center, emblazoned with 5 large characters. Shrek Academy. Below the stone, a man wearing glasses is effusively greeting figures clad in Spirit Hall uniforms. Master Dharma Protector, come by for tea sometime. As he speaks, the bespectacled man discreetly slips a large bag of gold soul coins to the leading Spirit Hall Soul Master. What's this for? The Soul Master asks. Just greasing the wheels for Shrek Academy's rating. It's a little something for everyone to enjoy. Alright, wait for the news. We should have something for you next year. My Lord Protector, is there any way to speed things up? A year is a long time. The middle-aged man with glasses pulls another heavy bag of gold soul coins from his storage soul tool and offers it to the Spirit Hall Soul Master. Okay, 7 or 8 months, tops. The approval will definitely go through by then. But it'll be winter. The weather will be so cold. We couldn't possibly let the Lord Protector travel in such conditions. He then produces an even larger bag. You're right, it will be freezing. Leave the Shrek Academy rating to me. 7 days max, and I'll personally deliver the certificate to Shrek Academy. Thank you, Lord Protector. Safe travels. Flender watches the Spirit Hall Soul Masters depart, waiting until they're a good distance away before muttering under his breath, those old foxes are such money grubbers. 2,000 gold soul coins. If it wasn't for the Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite competition coming up, I wouldn't give them a single copper. Yu Xiaojiang puts a hand on Flender's shoulder. 2,000 gold soul coins is just a drop in the bucket for us. Yeah, you're right. Flender nods, feeling somewhat better after Yu Xiaojiang's words. He turns and gazes up at the ostentatious Shrek Academy inscription, a smile spreading across his face. Who would have thought Shrek Academy would come this far? Ye Feng, you've really done a fantastic job. You deserve most of the credit for Shrek Academy's success. Ye Feng had taught Flender cutting-edge business practices from the 21st century. The friend started with a single supermarket in Soto City, the first of its kind on the Douluo continent, and business boomed. Later, Flender adopted the real estate model that Ye Feng suggested. Using the supermarket as collateral to secure financing, Flender raised a substantial amount of capital. He then bought a plot of cheap land and quickly built basic housing. At the grand opening, the houses were sold at a discount of 20% below market value. Of course, the land was cheap because it was located in a remote area outside Soto City. Even with the hefty discount, it was impossible to sell all the houses quickly. Ye Feng instructed Flender to hire people to create the illusion of panic buying at the opening. Capitalizing on group psychology, they sold all the houses in the first building in just 3 days. Afterward, Flender used these houses as collateral to acquire financing. Flender's business flourished. Now, Shrek Academy was able to buy a mountain on the outskirts of Tiando City, the capital of the Heaven Do Empire, and build a new school. Ye Feng waves off Flender's compliment. Enough with the praise, it doesn't pay the bills. Where's my share for this month? You little fox, Flender says with a grin. With a flick of his wrist, Flender sends a black card flying toward Ye Feng. Here's your income for the month. 6,800 gold soul coins. Ye Feng catches the card and slips it into the ring on his left index finger. He had already given the jade bracelet from his mother to Xiao Wu. 6,800 gold soul coins. 6,800 gold soul coins. 6,800 gold soul coins, that everyone except Flender gasps. Even Yu Xiaojiang, who came from the Blue Lightning Overlord Dragon sect, is astonished. After recovering from the shock, Ma Hongjun puts his arm around Ye Feng's shoulder. Raising an eyebrow he asks, "Hey boss Yi, are you hiring? I can warm your feet." Ye Feng steps away from Ma Hongjun and rolls his eyes. Come on, fatty. Don't even joke like that. If I let you warm my feet, your girlfriends would want to kill me. 6,800 gold soul coins. Ning Rongrong, born into the wealthy Seven Treasure Glazed Tile sect, can't help but exclaim, "Brother, is that really your salary for just 1 month?" Ye Feng nods, seeing Ye Feng's confirmation. Ning Rongrong is still skeptical and murmurs, "My Seven Treasure Glazed Tile school is said to be as rich as a country, but your monthly salary exceeds my school's net income for half a year." Ye Feng smiles. Although pleased, he doesn't boast. Real estate in this world is still in its infancy. Compared to the 21st century, the business is like the difference between an amateur and a pro. Flender and Ye Feng's real estate, supermarket, and express delivery businesses are just the beginning. When these industries truly spread across the Douluo continent, Ye Feng's monthly income would become an astronomical figure beyond most people's comprehension. That afternoon, an unexpected guest arrives at Shrek Academy. Prince Xuebeng of the Heaven Do Empire brings some soldiers to the school. Xuebeng isn't there for tea, he's looking for trouble. Xiao Wu happens to run into him, and she gives him a solid beating. Before leaving, Xuebeng vows revenge. While Xiao Wu and Ye Feng are on the mountaintop, Oscar rushes to them, worried, something bad's happened. The guys you beat up this morning, Xiao Wu, are back with soldiers. They are threatening to hand us over to you. Chapter 86 The Uninvited Guest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soldier, Ye Feng was caught off guard. If he was right, this had to be Prince Xuexing, who really called the shots in the Heaven Do Empire. Xuebeng wanted payback, and he must have run to his uncle for help. Xiao Wu, hands on her hips, fumed, "That jerk. He's got some nerve bringing his goons here. I wanna see what they're made of." "Wanna go, Feng Ji?" "Sure." Ye Feng nodded, wondering if Dugu Bo would show. Without him, Shrek Academy and Xiao Wu might be in real trouble. Following Ma Hongjun, Ye Feng and Xiao Wu reached the academy gates. Sure enough, 2 rows of armored soldiers stood guard, 100 strong. A white-bearded old man led them, decked out in fancy robes, with that air of authority you only get from being in charge. Just standing there, he radiated pressure. Beside him, Prince Xuebeng's face was still bruised and swollen. Ye Feng had never met Prince Xuexing. Prince Xuebeng obviously only had one card to play. Douluo was nowhere to be seen. What had happened? Ye Feng remembered that when the spirit hall was hunting Douluo, they'd bumped into Prince Xuexing on patrol. The spirit hall backed off, and Douluo escaped. Ever since, Douluo had been grateful, staying by Prince Xuexing's side as a guest of the Heaven Do Empire. Ye Feng, Xiao Wu, you're here. This is. I know, Prince Xuexing. Ye Feng cut Flender off before he could finish the introduction. Oh, you know him? Flender asked, surprised. Nope, Ye Feng said, shaking his head. Then how'd you peg him so quick? Who else in the Heaven Do Empire would pull such a cheap stunt? The little punk gets his butt kicked, so the old guy comes running to even the score. Pathetic. Ye Feng didn't pull any punches, calling Prince Xuexing out. Instantly, the soldiers raised their spears, pointing them at Ye Feng. Prince Xuexing, staring Ye Feng down, calmly signaled the soldiers to stand down. Under the soldiers' aggression just now, Prince Xuexing noticed that Ye Feng's expression hadn't changed. He secretly acknowledged that Ye Feng was not simple. Where's Douluo? Ye Feng asked, curious. I heard Prince Xuexing always has poisoned Douluo tagging along. Where is he? Uncle, she's the one who hit me. Xuebeng pointed at Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu stepped forward, unafraid, her eyes full of mockery. Not enough. I'm happy to go another round. Xuebeng whined, Uncle. Help me out here. Xuexing glared at Xiao Wu. But with her lovesickness redness all over her body, Xuexing couldn't see through Xiao Wu's true identity at all, and said, Little girl, do you know that the person you hit is His Royal Highness the Prince of the Heaven Do Empire? So what? No one's above the law, right? Last I checked, princes bleed red, too. His Royal Highness is a human being, of course, and it is also related to the face of the Tiando royal family. Come with me, and I won't make things difficult for others. No way. Ye Feng stepped in, stopping the conversation and putting himself between Xiao Wu and Prince Xuexing. A glint flashed in Prince Xuexing's eyes. Fine, you don't want her punished. Then Shrek Academy has to guarantee to send your best graduates to serve the Heaven Do royal family. Not happening, Flender shot back. Shrek Academy had struggled financially for years because they refused the Baroque royal family's demands. They wouldn't agree to train talent specifically for Baroque, funneling them into government jobs. So the Baroque nobles made their lives miserable. Now, Flender was finally building something special, and his academy was about to become a top-tier soul master institution. No way was he caving to Prince Xuexing's demands. Prince Xuexing chuckled, and Xuebeng, still smarting from Xiao Wu's beatdown, joined in. Ye Feng saw through it. He figured Xuebeng had deliberately provoked a fight, playing the spoiled brat to give Prince Xuexing an excuse to strong-arm Shrek Academy into their service. Being a time traveler, Ye Feng knew Xuebeng's arrogance was all an act. It really made him have to guess like this. Without missing a beat, Prince Xuexing said coldly, then you leave me no choice. This girl assaulted a prince of the Heaven Do Empire. She needs to answer for that. Give me a reason to not let this affect the royal family. Are you really going to push this? Flender demanded, his eyes narrowed. In his mind, 7 soul rings flared around him. He was making it clear he wouldn't back down. I've given you options. I don't want to do this, either. You can make this a big deal or a small one. The choice is yours, Xuexing said softly, as 8 soul rings appeared around him. 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black. A contra? Flender's face fell. Flender was just a level 70 soul sage, while Prince Xuexing was a level 80 contra. Flender had wondered how Emperor Shui could give so much power to his younger brother. Now he knew, Prince Xuexing was way stronger than he'd thought. Contra or not, you're not taking Xiao Wu, Zhao Wuji growled. 7 soul rings lit up under Zhao Wuji's feet. He was ready to fight Prince Xuexing alongside Flender and Zhao Wuji weren't alone. Tang San, Oscar, Zhu Zhuqing, Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Ning Rongrong all summoned their spirits. 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda. Prince Xuexing was stunned, looking at Ning Rongrong in surprise. He hadn't noticed her until just then. He took in the Shrek teachers and students arrayed before him, knowing full well he wasn't there for a fight. He was there to control Shrek Academy. Alright, Dean Flender, since you're so indecisive, here's another option. I won't use any soul skills, just my soul power. If this girl can hold her own against me for a few minutes, I'll leave today. If not, she comes with me and faces the law. Chapter 87 What happened? The system is unconvinced again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Wu, not wanting Shrek Academy to look bad, stepped up and said with a touch of disdain, just holding out for the time it takes to burn a stick of incense. Fine, I'll do it. Hold on a sec. Ye Feng moved in front of Xiao Wu, blocking her from Prince Xuexing. He looked at the prince with amusement and scoffed, a grown man picking on a girl. That's just low. How about this, I'll take her place. Alright. Prince Xuexing sized Ye Feng up and down without hesitation, not believing for a second that he could last through the burning of an entire incense stick. With a wave of his hand, a stick of incense appeared and stuck itself upright in a stone slab. The incense was held firmly, showing how remarkable the prince's strength was. In the blink of an eye, 8 spirit rings materialized beneath Prince Xuexing's feet, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black. The phantom of a swan appeared behind him, his martial spirit. Prince Xuexing reached out to Ye Feng, and his soul power flooded out, enveloping Ye Feng like a tidal wave. Suddenly, Ye Feng felt immense pressure. Level 55. Prince Xuexing's expression turned to surprise, his attack revealed that Ye Feng's soul power had already reached level 55. Looking at Ye Feng again, he realized he looked only 13 or 14 years old. Yet, he was already a level 55 soul king. Whoosh! Prince Xuexing was shocked. He was the overseer of the Tiando Imperial Academy, so he knew that Yu Tianheng, the academy's best student, had only just broken through level 40. Yu Tianheng was 5 or 6 years older than Ye Feng, yet Ye Feng had surpassed him in cultivation. Prince Xuexing continued to unleash his soul power, adding to the pressure. But again, he was astonished to find that even pushed to his limit, Ye Feng didn't summon his martial soul, and didn't even flinch. On the sidelines, Flender, Yu Shaojiang, and Zhao Wuji remained confident in Ye Feng. His physical toughness was unmatched. The Dragon Phoenix Ancient Wing External Spirit Bone had already elevated his physical strength to insane levels. Prince Xuexing was stunned and muttered to himself. His body is unbelievably tough. He hasn't even been forced to use his martial soul. For a low-level soul master to endure the direct soul power pressure from a higher level one is rare. Surviving at 2/3 the level of the attacker is outstanding, and matching the attacker's power is incredible and warrants the release of the martial soul, especially one with a strong body. Even a level 60 soul emperor would be forced to use their martial soul under this pressure, and yet this kid is so calm. He's so young. If he's allowed to grow, he's destined to become a titled Douluo. Did I make a mistake by listening to Xuebeng and coming here to stir up trouble? Too late now. Since I've started down this path, I have to continue. If level 61 soul power won't work, I'll crank it up to level 62. Level 62. Level 63. Prince Xuexing relentlessly released his soul power, increasing the pressure on Ye Feng. Level 68. Level 69. Level 70. When Prince Xuexing's soul power reached level 70, countless petals swirled around Ye Feng, deflecting the pressure. Using finesse to overcome brute force, Prince Xuexing stared at Ye Feng in disbelief. He'd actually used a technique like that. His 4th spirit ring is a 10,000-year ring, Prince Xuexing cried out again as Ye Feng summoned his Wuhuan Jiuxin Xian Tang. 5 spirit rings appeared beneath his feet, yellow, yellow, purple, black, and black. Prince Xuexing gaped at him. Ye Feng's 4th spirit ring was a 10,000-year ring. His spirit ring configuration was beyond anything he had ever seen. Flender, who had been watching closely, knew who Ye Feng's master was and interjected, Prince Xuexing, let's just call it a day, all right? If you keep this up, you're just asking for trouble. Humph. Prince Xuexing ignored him. As royalty, his pride wouldn't allow him to back down. He glared at Ye Feng and said, so, you can use finesse to overcome brute force. But what happens with 10,000 caddies? Or 100,000? Level 71. Level 72. Level 73. Prince Xuexing continued to pour out soul power, refusing to believe what was happening. A golden light erupted in front of Ye Feng, then spread outwards in all directions. Sword Emperor domain. Within the area bathed in golden light, Prince Xuexing's strength was instantly suppressed and weakened by 30%. At the same time, Ye Feng's own power was boosted by 30%. A domain. Prince Xuexing exclaimed in shock, you have a domain. He stared at Ye Feng with a mix of shock and envy. Twin martial souls. Prince Xuexing realized something. Ye Feng had twin martial souls. In all the years since Soul Masters existed, there had only been 2 twin martial soul wielders in the past 100 years. One of them was Bibi Dong, the Pope of the Spirit Hall. In reality, Prince Xuexing didn't know that Ye Feng possessed not twin, but triple martial souls. If Ye Feng's Eye of Hell had spirit rings, it would be devastating. Your Highness, care to continue? Flender asked smugly. Prince Xuexing hesitated. He only had 82 soul power. He was already using 73. He wasn't confident he could make Ye Feng last less than a stick of incense. After a moment, he grit his teeth and poured out more soul power. Level 74. Level 75. Level 76. When the soul power reached level 80, purple and gold light exploded from Ye Feng's back. The dragon phoenix ancient wings shot out. Soul bone. Soul bone. Soul bone. Prince Xuexing and several others shouted in unison. Ye Feng was already ridiculously lucky for possessing twin spirits and a spirit ring configuration that exceeded the norm. Now it turned out he had an external soul bone too. The instant Ye Feng's external soul bone appeared, the pressure of a high-level bloodline permeated the air, slowing the flow of soul power in Prince Xuexing's body. Go on, keep going. Ye Feng taunted Prince Xuexing mockingly. Never mind. Prince Xuexing sighed. His strength was continually suppressed and weakened by Ye Feng's Sword Emperor domain and the Dragon Phoenix ancient wings. He knew he couldn't defeat him. He turned to Xuebeng, and said, that's all for today. Xuebeng, let's go. Ding, star. System has detected that the host has been unreasonably bullied by Prince Xuexing. As the host of the system expresses dissatisfaction with this. So what if he is a level 82 Contra? The system rewards the host with an ultimate Douluo experience card. Chapter 88 Fighting Madman, Sword Dust Heart. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Limit Douluo experience card, a limited time item. For 30 minutes, it grants you the soul power of a level 99 limit Douluo. Seeing Prince Xuexing turn to leave, Ye Feng, jolted by the system's notification, croaked, hold it. Xuexing turned back, his gaze fixed on Ye Feng, a mix of authority and coldness in his eyes. Something to say? He asked. You bet, Ye Feng's voice rasped, suddenly old and strained. You can't just push people around and walk away like nothing happened. Doesn't work that way. Zhao Wuji, completely bewildered, muttered, that voice. Flender, lost in the moment, didn't register Zhao Wuqi's words. He glanced at Zhao Wuji, noticing the horror in his eyes, and asked with concern, Wuji, you okay? Zhao Wuji hesitated, then replied, fine. Just, things are about to get interesting. Interesting? How so? Just watch. Geez, what's with the sudden secrecy? Unable to get a straight answer from Zhao Wuji, Flender turned his attention to Ye Feng. His gut told him Zhao Wuji's interesting comment had something to do with Ye Feng's voice change. Meanwhile, Tang San was equally taken aback. He murmured, that voice, could it be, is he back again? Tang San's mind flashed back to his arrival at Shrek Academy. Back then, Zhao Wuji, eager for a challenge, had wanted to test Tang San, Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zhuqing, and Ye Feng, the new Shrek recruits. Zhao Wuji challenged them to last a stick of incense against him, but Ye Feng stepped up and fought Zhao Wuji solo, ultimately giving Zhao Wuqi such a beating that he coughed up blood. Afterward, Tang San and Zhao Wuji had pressed Ye Feng, asking how he, with only level 40 spirit power, could suddenly overwhelm Zhao Wuqi. Ye Feng's explanation was simply that he didn't know. Tang San's theory was that Ye Feng harbored a powerful spirit within him, like some kind of ancient master. The old guy had taken over, giving Ye Feng powers far beyond his own. Tang San stared intently at Ye Feng. Sure enough, Ye Feng seemed to be going into some kind of trance again. This time, though, it was milder, just a tremor, as if some deity was about to possess him. Prince Xuexing frowned, squinting at Ye Feng. What do you want? Simple, Ye Feng said, continuing the charade. You want that kid to last for a stick of incense against you. Fine. Then you last a stick of incense against me. If you can make it, great. Are you kidding me? Xuexing didn't speak, but Prince Xuebeng couldn't resist jumping in, his tone mocking. What's your spirit power level? You think you can talk to my Uncle Wang like that? A low-level soul master trying to intimidate a high-level one. You lost your mind? Smack, star, with a wave of his hand, Ye Feng unleashed a wave of soul force, slapping Xuebeng across the face. The force sent him flying. You. Prince Xuebeng glared at Ye Feng, furious, and scrambled to his feet, ready for a fight. But Prince Xuexing stopped him. Fine, Xuexing smirked, a glint of mockery in his eyes. Though Ye Feng's words sounded bizarre, he didn't doubt his ability. He stood with his arms crossed, saying, a stick of incense. I could go all day. Go ahead, make your move. And Ye Feng did. He extended his hand, surging soul power engulfing him. Focusing his will, the soul power formed into a mountain and crashed down on Prince Xuexing's head. Level 80. Prince Xuexing exclaimed, shocked. He realized that Ye Feng's soul power had reached level 80. Ugh, Xuexing's face paled. He had no choice but to summon his swan martial soul. Level 81. Level 82. Level 83, Ye Feng's soul power kept climbing. Seventh soul technique, Swan Avatar. Desperate, Prince Xuexing activated his martial soul avatar to resist the crushing force of Ye Feng's soul power. 88. 89. Level 90, when the soul power reached level 90, Prince Xuexing was drenched in sweat. He had to resort to a soul skill from a soul bone, creating a golden shield around himself. As a prince of the Heaven Do Empire, Xuexing had been given 3 soul bones. Level 91. Level 92. Level 93, when Ye Feng's soul power reached level 93, the protective shield shattered. Stripped of its protection, Prince Xuexing was hit full force by the level 93 soul power. He turned white as a sheet and was forced to the ground, coughing up blood. Then, Ye Feng withdrew his soul power. He said loudly, get out of here. Prince Xuexing was still a prince of the Heaven Do Empire. Hurting him was one thing, killing him was another. Prince Xuexing dared to hit on Xiao Wu. That was Ye Feng's punishment for it. With Prince Xuexing defeated, Xuebeng rushed to his aid. Seeing Xuexing's pale face and his hands clutching his chest, Xuebeng reached out to touch his chest, saying, you've broken 12 ribs. What? Flender looked at Ye Feng in shock. The human body only has 24 ribs, in total. Ye Feng had used only a little bit of power, and he had broken half of Xuebeng's ribs. With injuries so severe, Xuebeng could be bedridden for quite a while. That night, an old man with white hair appeared at the gates of the prince's mansion. The old man kicked down the doors. The noise alerted the guards, who rushed to attack the old man with their spears. With a flick of the old man's finger, his silver soul power surged like a tidal wave, knocking out all the attacking guards. Tidal Douluo. More guards arrived, horrified to realize that the intruder was a Tidal Douluo, a spirit master of level 90 or higher. Sword Douluochen Xian. Soon, Prince Xuexing arrived. He stared at the old man in shock. The man's martial soul was the 7-killing sword, making him none other than Chen Xian, Sword Douluo, guardian of the 7 treasure glazed tile school. As a prince, Xuexing couldn't afford to disrespect Sword Douluo. Though he didn't bow, he spoke with utmost politeness and respect. Your Excellency, what has angered you so? Tell me, and I will personally bring the culprit to you in chains. Who else could it be but you? Jian Dao Qinxin's voice, sharp enough to cut a heart, echoed in Prince Xuexing's ears. P.S. Today is January 1st, 2022, New Year's Day. I wish you all a happy new year, success in your studies, and good luck in the year of the tiger. Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Prince Xuexing's heart skipped a beat. Despite their political differences, his relationship with Ning Fengji hadn't soured. He was only a level 82 Contra, not about to offend Jian Daochen Xian, a level 96 Tidal Douluo. He asked suspiciously, Your Majesty, when did I ever anger you? At least let me know why I'm dying. Messing with kids during the day, figures I should mess with you, right? Your Majesty, I'm already a mess. He's him, and I'm me. You dare to bully my direct disciple. Seems like you're too comfortable. I'll fix that. With that, Jian Daochen Xian unleashed his soul power, a sharp and overpowering force that enveloped Prince Xuexing, turning him pale. The sheer force of Jian Daochen Xian's soul power aggravated Prince Xuexing's injuries, causing him to cough up blood. The immense pressure slammed Prince Xuexing to the ground. The sound of breaking bones echoed as all 12 of his ribs were crushed by Jian Daochen Xian. Jian Daochen Xian withdrew his soul power, gazing down at Prince Xuexing, who dared not utter a sound. Suddenly, he summoned the 7-killing sword of his martial soul and slashed. Man and sword became one. A terrifying beam of sword light erupted, leveling half of the prince's mansion. Still, Prince Xuexing didn't dare call for help, terrified of further enraging the combat-crazed Jian Daochen Xian. This is the first and last time. Screw up again, and I won't be so gentle. With that, Jian Daochen Xian soared away on his sword, leaving Prince Xuexing's shattered mansion behind. Only when Jian Daochen Xian was far away did the prince's staff and guards cautiously approach. As they tried to help him, Prince Xuexing screamed in pain. Ah! It hurts. My lord, Sword Douluo is a bully. Should we go to the palace tonight and speak to his majesty? You think my brother-in-law will side with me over him? But you're the emperor's younger brother, sir. He's Jian Daochen Xian, a Tidal Douluo. I know my brother. Even if Jian Daochen Xian slept with his favorite concubine, he'd probably shrug it off. I screwed up today. Didn't realize that kid was Jian Douluo's direct disciple. I messed with the wrong guy. The next day, Ning Fengji, patriarch of the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile School, heard about Jian Daochen Xian's visit to the prince's mansion and sought him out. Uncle Jian, did you drop by the prince's mansion last night? Ning Fengji asked. Yeah. Jian Daochen Xian grunted in response. He then asked sincerely, think I shouldn't have. Ning Fengji smiled wryly. Uncle Jian, you're kidding, right? His Highness has been asking for it, getting what he deserves. Besides, it was Ye Feng he messed with. Jian Daochen Xian nodded, pleased with Ning Fengji's attitude. Honestly, as far as Ning Fengji was concerned, as long as Jian Daochen Xian didn't go off and kill the Pope of the Spirit Hall, everything was fine. Ning Fengji knew that the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile School couldn't survive without Guardian Douluo. Right now, their Guardian Douluo are Sword Douluo Chen Xian and Bone Douluo Gu Rong. But what about 100 years from now? Who will protect them when Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo are gone? Though known for having the world's greatest support-type martial soul, the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile School had a fatal flaw. Soul Masters with the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile Pagoda could only reach level 79 in their lifetime and couldn't break through to the Contra level. Because of this, the school's wealth made them a target. They needed a Guardian Douluo after Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo were gone. Ning Fengji was thrilled that Sword Douluo had taken an apprentice, Ye Feng. Ye Feng was incredibly talented and was the best soul master in the world in his eyes. Ning Fengji thought very highly of Ye Feng and already considered him the Guardian Douluo of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile School in the future. So, whether it was Jian Daochen Xian hitting Prince Xue Xing or Ye Feng hurting him, Ning Fengji didn't care. Teacher, at that moment, Xue Qinghe, Crown Prince of the Heaven Do Empire, entered the room, bowing slightly to Ning Fengji. Ah! Ning Fengji nodded, looking at Jian Daochen Xian. Uncle Jian, His Highness wants to visit Shrek Academy. Care to join us? Sure. Haven't seen that kid Ye Feng in a while, Jian Daochen Xian thought, then said seriously, Fengji, have you found what I asked for? Uncle Jian, I found 3 suitable soul beasts so far, Ning Fengji replied. Where are they? Jian Daochen Xian asked eagerly. They've already been captured. They should be delivered to Heaven Do City soon. Good. Jian Daochen Xian grinned. Xue Qinghe listened to their conversation and asked curiously, Teacher, Your Majesty, what are you two talking about? A secret, Ning Fengji said with a sly smile. Shrek Academy was only a few miles from Heaven Do City. Ning Fengji, Jian Daochen Xian, and Xue Qinghe arrived at the bustling academy. When they arrived, Yu Shaojiang was talking with Ye Feng. Ye Feng, we can't keep doing this. Your level is great, and you have experience, but you need some grit. You mean the killer instinct soldiers should have? Exactly. Don't worry. I've thought of that. Training starts when the guy I'm waiting for gets here. Since Yu Shaojiang came to Shrek Academy, he hadn't participated in the Shrek 8 Monsters training. Ye Feng had already handled everything Yu Shaojiang had planned out. Yu Shaojiang even wondered if he was needed here. Which one of you is Sword Douluo's direct disciple, Ye Feng? A friendly voice called out. Everyone looked over to see Jian Daochen Xian, Ning Fengji, and a handsome stranger at Shrek Academy. The man appeared to be in his early 20s, with pale skin, a straight nose, and captivating phoenix eyes. Had this been a woman, she would be a world-class beauty. Unfortunately, he was a man, but a handsome one. Chapter 90. Ye Feng wants to force Renxue to show up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ye Feng sized the guy up, stepped forward and said, I'm Ye Feng. The man returned the favor, looking Ye Feng up and down, and said with a smile, You're even more impressive in person. Hello, Ye Feng, I'm Xue Qinghe, the teacher's disciple. Xue Qinghe. Xue Qinghe. With the last name Xue, could he be His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince of the Heaven Do Empire? Zhu Zhuqing, Dai Mubai, Flender, and the others were whispering, trying to figure out Xue Qinghe's identity. Ning Rongrong stepped forward, smiling, and explained, That's right, he's Xue Qinghe, the Crown Prince of the Heaven Do Empire. He's also like an older brother to me. Big brother? Xiao Wu, hearing Ning Rongrong call Xue Qinghe senior brother, muttered to herself, Rongrong, you call him senior brother, but you also call Ye Feng senior brother. Ning Rongrong walked over to Xiao Wu, looked at her arm affectionately, and explained, His Royal Highness is my father's direct disciple, so of course, he's my senior brother. I call Ye Feng senior brother too. Actually, I should call him my second senior brother. Second senior brother. Ye Feng raised his eyebrows slightly, a strange expression on his face. The word second senior brother sounded odd to him. Ning Rongrong nodded enthusiastically, and clarified, Father took His Royal Highness on as an apprentice before Grandpa Jian accepted you. So, His Royal Highness is naturally the first senior brother, and you're the second. Second senior brother. The way Ning Rongrong addressed him still felt strange to Ye Feng. Greetings, Your Royal Highness. Flender and Yu Shaojiang bowed respectfully to Xue Qinghe. No need for such formality. If it wasn't a formal occasion, you'd be considered my elders, so just call me Qinghe. And the rest of you, if I'm a few years older, feel free to call me Big Brother Xue Qinghe said with a smile. Xue Qinghe was a smooth talker, and his words had a calming and sophisticated effect on the people around him. Even without the airs of a prince, his approachable manner made him easy to befriend. Even Tang San couldn't sense anything amiss in his apparent openness. Of everyone present, Ye Feng was probably the only one who knew Xue Qinghe's real identity. Xue Qinghe's visit had two purposes. One of them was to meet Ye Feng, Jian Dao Chen Xian's apprentice. Xue Qinghe smiled and asked, Ye Feng, would you mind if I called you junior brother in the future? That Ye Feng didn't answer immediately, because he knew that Xue Qinghe wasn't Xue Qinghe at all, but Qian Renxue, the eldest daughter of the Spirit Hall. He hadn't decided what path to take, so he wasn't sure if getting too close to Xue Qinghe was a good idea. Is there a problem? Xue Qinghe asked, sounding a little disappointed. He waited for a few seconds, but Ye Feng still didn't respond. Ye Feng looked at his master, Chen Xian, then at Ning Fengji, the leader of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, and finally, his eyes landed on Xue Qinghe. Ning Fengji probably had no idea that his apprentice was Qian Renxue in disguise. He'd been kept in the dark all along. With that in mind, Ye Feng decided to mess with Xue Qinghe a little. He walked over to Xue Qinghe, casually put his arm around his shoulder, and said with a smile, of course not. You're Uncle Ning's direct disciple, and I'm my master's. Uncle Ning and my master are both part of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. By seniority, I should be calling you senior brother. Great, from now on, I'll call you junior brother, Xue Qinghe said, secretly delighted. He'd recruited a talent with great potential today, which would make his position in the Heaven Dou Empire even more secure. Sounds good. Ye Feng nodded. He stepped in front of Xue Qinghe, intending to play a trick on him. He looked Xue Qinghe up and down, reached out, squeezed Xue Qinghe's arm, and praised, not bad, your bone structure is solid. Good muscles on your arm. Even yours. Yours? What about his? When Ye Feng said those 2 words, Xue Qinghe's eyes widened instinctively, and a flicker of shock ran through them. Xue Qinghe wasn't Xue Qinghe, he was Qian Renxue, the Spirit Hall's eldest daughter. In other words, the person standing in front of Ye Feng and being felt up by Ye Feng was a woman. Xue Qinghe's first reaction was to back away, to get away from Ye Feng's clutches. Ye Feng sensed the shift in the air and knew Xue Qinghe wanted to retreat. Not a chance. He quickened the speed of his outstretched hands. Before Xue Qinghe could react, Ye Feng's hands had already attacked Qian Renxue. Well, not bad. The muscles are pretty strong too. Looks like you've been working out a lot, senior brother. Ye Feng had gained the upper hand, and he couldn't resist praising Xue Qinghe, making Xue Qinghe furious. Senior brother is the crown prince of the Heaven Dou Empire. He's so committed to cultivation, it's really an example for our generation. Xue Qinghe looked down at Ye Feng's mischievous hands, stomped his feet hard, and took 3 steps back in a row, breaking free from Ye Feng's grasp. He raised his head and glared at Ye Feng angrily. He felt an urge to summon his martial soul and teach Ye Feng a lesson. Ye Feng, in front of everyone, had attacked him. Xue Qinghe, had attacked her, Qian Renxue. That was it. This was unacceptable. However, Xue Qinghe still managed to retain some sense of reason and didn't impulsively use his martial soul. His face was flushed, and he did his best to calm down the turmoil within him. He responded to Ye Feng's words with forced composure, the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. To others, being the crown prince of the Heaven Do Empire is a supreme honor. But in my eyes, it's immense pressure. This position constantly reminds me that I must protect the people of the Heaven Do Empire, so they can live in peace. Everyone present praised Xue Qinghe's words. Ye Feng was the only exception. Ye Feng thought to himself that he had really underestimated Renxue. Even with all that pent-up frustration, Renxue managed to hold her breath. As expected of a spy who could lurk in the Heaven Do Empire for so long, at the same time, Ye Feng had discovered a secret. The camouflage ability of Renxue's soul bone could even disguise human touch. Just now, Ye Feng had attacked Renxue's chest, intending to expose her or tempt her into impulsively revealing her true identity. However, Ye Feng had discovered that the sensation his hand had felt told him that it was definitely a man's chest. Ye Feng turned to look at Fengji with sympathy. He secretly thought to himself, no wonder Fengji had been deceived for so long without realizing it. It turned out that the angel soul bone's disguise ability was that terrifying. It could even disguise the feel.